What's the goal for Syracuse football in 2025? Their current position is very favorable. After an opening week loss in Atlanta, Georgia against Tennessee, they were 0-1, but then they have since rattled off 3 consecutive victories. They got the come from behind victory against UConn. Thank goodness they survived it. They beat down Colgate, and then they go into Death Valley against a Clemson Tigers team that's desperate, and they punch that team in the mouth. I don't care what Dabo Swinney says about how they, quote unquote, shut down Syracuse in the second half. No, you didn't, Dabo Swinney. Syracuse just kind of took its foot off the gas in the third and fourth quarter. They had such a big lead. It didn't really matter. And Cade Klubnik, your team did not lose or did not gain rhythm on offense because they were faking injuries, okay? Cade, I hope you get that $25,000 that they fined Syracuse for, because maybe that'll make you feel better. That's neither here nor there, though. They're 3-1, 1-0 in conference play. What's the goal for Syracuse football now? I think you're going to all call me nuts. I think you will. Even though we're all Syracuse fans and I'm a Syracuse alum, and maybe you're watching, you're a Syracuse alum or a Syracuse student right now. Shout out to all the students out there. I was right there with you a couple of years ago, graduate of 2024. So I'm pretty young. I think the goal for Syracuse football is that the expectations are higher and that they can compete for an ACC title. I'm not saying win the ACC. There are some better teams out there, in my opinion, that are better than Syracuse for sure. Miami and Florida State. But you know what? Why can't this team compete in the ACC? Why can't they have another season like they did last year? I know what you're probably going to say. Jackson, the quarterback. The quarterback. It's not Steve Angeli. You're right. It's not Steve Angeli. You're 100% right. We've already gone over that. It will not be easy to replace Steve Angeli. But you know what? Rickie Collins is a mystery box. Do we truly know what we're getting in Rickie Collins? We don't. And to be fair to the people that are questioning me right now, calling me nuts, calling me crazy, you think that Syracuse can really compete in the ACC right now for a potential title, or at least get to the conference championship game. He's a mystery. Maybe he doesn't perform well on Saturday against Duke. And there, we will recalibrate. We will adjust the expectations accordingly. But my message is this. If we don't know what we're getting from Rickie Collins on Saturday, why would I change the new expectation of Syracuse football in 2025? What if he's really good? He was neck and neck with Steve Angeli in fall camp. So what if he's good? What if Syracuse uses his mobility, they play to his strengths, and this team can still function at a high level on offense, which we know is their bread and butter? And that defensively, they're getting better. And we already talked about their special teams, how they're this year, so far through 4 games, not a complete liability out there. They're actually pretty good with their kicker and their punter and their overall execution. We just went over it, right? So why can't they compete in the ACC? Who is definitively better in the conference than Syracuse football right now? Who's better? I'll give you Miami. I will definitely give you Florida State as well. Georgia Tech is a strong team, but I don't know if they're definitively better than Syracuse. Syracuse is going on the road to play Georgia Tech, and this isn't to give them bulletin board material, but rather I think that game could be very, very close. I think that game could be a coin flip. So if I think a game is going to be coin flip, then why am I going to sit here and say that Georgia Tech is definitively better than Syracuse football? I don't know. They're a good team, though. And with Florida State, well, Syracuse is not playing Florida State this season. I wish they were playing them last year, but they didn't. Thankfully, they're not playing them this year either. No Florida State on the schedule, who might be the first or second best team in the ACC right now. We can go over the schedule. The home games are incredibly winnable. You got Duke on Saturday. Duke, great offensive team. That's going to be a challenge for this Syracuse defense. But can the Syracuse offense keep up with the new quarterback? Maybe, maybe not. That's why I'm saying For now, I'm keeping the expectations really high. And if Rickie Collins doesn't perform on Saturday, well, then I'll adjust the expectations accordingly to just win 6 games, find a way to make a bowl this season. But you also got Pitt at home. You can beat Pitt at home. You got North Carolina at home. I don't know if you've seen North Carolina this season. They ain't very good. And Boston College at home. Syracuse needs to, get off the schneid against Boston College, losing 2 straight to that school, fellow Northeast rival. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but those home games for Syracuse are incredibly winnable. Can they maybe see what happens at Miami? And I'm sorry, I'm blinking a lot. I think I got an eyelash in my eye. Apologies for that. But can they maybe see what happens against a team like Miami? I don't think they're going to win that game. But you know what? I didn't think Syracuse was going to win in Death Valley, and they did. At SMU does not look like the same team they did a year ago. That's a winnable game for Syracuse. Georgia Tech, winnable game for Syracuse football on the road. And Notre Dame, I know it's on the road, but that's not a conference game, so you can lose it and still compete in the ACC for a possible title game appearance. And B, I don't know if you've seen Notre Dame's defense. It ain't as good as it was last year. That's for sure. So the bottom line is this. If Rickie Collins, and it's a big if, I'll give you that, but if he can perform at a high level, or at least an above average level, this is a team that can definitely compete in the ACC. This is a team that can, at minimum, win 8 games in the regular season. Minimum, if Rickie Collins could play at a high level. And I have no reason right now to adjust the expectations. If he performs, great. If he doesn't perform on Saturday, we'll come on the podcast and say, folks, the goal of 2025 is to find a way to win 3 more games, because you're going to assume they lose to Duke if they don't get good quarterback play. But find a way to win 3 more games and just make a bowl in 2025 and regroup from there. We'll go over what Syracuse should do at the quarterback position moving forward. That's why it's a great bye week topic, because now we get 2 games to watch Rickie Collins heading into the bye.